question inflection. It's very suspicious if someone is speaking and all of a sudden they ask a question. If they're not actually asking a question, right? Like if all of a sudden you hear the question inflection used on a statement or a number or a boundary or a timeline, that's when I'm like, let's double click on that for a second and talk about that budget.
Can I have one thing? Can I have one thing? Can my children have one thing? Everything was public. I do not have time to address the noise. My silence does not mean that I am complacent. My silence does not mean that somehow Turning Point USA and all of the handpicked staff that loved my husband and my husband loved them is somehow in on it.
Candace Owens is risking her life, her reputation. You think she's doing it because of clicks? That is the stupidest freaking reason. If you think she's doing it for clicks, why isn't Erika Kirks going after Candace Owens? Filing a lawsuit for defamation on her husband. Against her. Against her family. Against Turning Point USA. Why isn't she filing a legal case? Ask that question. I want some of these reporters out there to ask that question directly to Erika Kirks. Why aren't you filing a lawsuit against these people? Don't say you don't have time. That's bullshit.
Ever noticed how someone's eyes flicker in different directions during a conversation? There's a pattern to it, and it can be incredibly revealing. Let's explore neuro-linguistic programming. Okay, to start off, when you're observing someone, if their eyes move to your right, they're remembering things. While to the left, they are constructing something. What is the person constructing or remembering? It depends then on if they look up, to the side or down. Up right is remembering an image. Right to the side is remember a sound. Down right is accessing your inner voice. It's the same pattern on the left. Up left is creating an image. Left to the side is creating a sound, and left down is checking feelings. Spot someone's eyes drifting to the left often. They could be crafting a lie, creating a story instead of recalling an actual memory. Try this out for yourself and see if you can decode someone's thoughts.
You know, I've been doing TV and radio now for 30 plus years, and you know that on this show, we more often than not, we end up putting facts first, and we're way ahead of the curve, and we get it right when the legacy media mob so often gets things wrong. And you know, on this program, I believe every word I say. We are very transparent in what we do. But in today's internet age, where I guess anybody can have their own talk show, where everything's about clicks, everything's about money, everything's about views, a lot of people out there, they don't seem to have any issue with spewing the most incendiary, hateful, outrageous, conspiratorial comments that they can dream up. And somehow, some way, some of the people who traffic in this kind of hatred and talk have actually decided to turn the tragic political assassination of Charlie Kirk into their latest topic of fascination, with a variety of absolutely insane conspiracy theories. Some people are even trying to figure out where Charlie Kirk is buried. Does it get any more evil, any sicker than this? Well, not to me. I find all of this disgusting.
Wait, what? How is it evil to find out where Charlie Kirk's been buried? If you're someone with good intentions and you want to pay respects to Charlie Kirk, why is that a bad, evil thing? Now, if you're going to say evil thing, if you're going to throw that out there, then you should say people with bad or ill intent, or that want to vandalize his stone of where he's buried. I mean, that would make sense. But if you're just going to throw it out there and just say evil in general, I mean, you need to clarify what you're saying.
And repulsive. Erika, her children, the people at Turning Point, they have been through enough this year. It is time for people to shut up and leave these people alone. And that's why, you know, what I say, and by the way, that's what none other than John Fetterman had to say. He put this up on X today. Take a look at this. It is gross. It is dehumanizing to attack a widow with young children after just witnessing his public assassination. it shouldn't be controversial to put our political views aside and extend the grace for a deeply traumatized family to grieve. He is right. Earlier today on Outnumbered, Erika Kirks, in a very powerful statement, addressed a lot of these comments surrounding her husband, Charlie, his death, his assassination. And, it started with our friend Harris Faulkner asking about those people who are trying to figure out where, if you can believe this, I can't believe I'm even saying this, where Charlie Kirk is buried. Here's how she answered. Very powerful.
Doesn't make sense.
Is it possible to spot a lie?
Most people can only spot a lie with 54% accuracy. They've actually studied the average person is very bad. We are very bad at spotting liars. And this is important to know about yourself, is we should not overestimate our ability to spot lies. We are usually not good at it. So it is very important to give someone the benefit of the doubt because you don't know. It's very hard to spot. It is possible there are certain statistical cues to deceit. There are cues that over and over again research find liars typically do, but not always. Like there's no Pinocchio's nose. There's no one cue that means someone is lying. But there are a couple cues that come up over and over again. One we already talked about, the question inflection. It's very suspicious if someone is speaking and all of a sudden they ask a question. If they're not actually asking a question, right? Like if all of a sudden you hear the question inflection used on a statement or a number or a boundary or a timeline, that's when I'm like, let's double click on that for a second and talk about that budget.
Can I have one thing? Can I have one thing? Can my children have one thing? Everything was public. We will be building the most beautiful memorial for my husband at Turning Point USA, and it will be for the world to see, and it will be spectacular, and it will have basically museum style for our Charlie, for my Charlie. But can I have one thing? Can my babies have one thing where we hold it sacred, where my husband is laid to rest, where I don't have to be worried about some secular revolutionary coming and destroying my husband's grave while my daughter is sitting there praying? One thing. This is my husband. Yes, he was Charlie Kirk to the world, and I know so many people love my husband, and I am grateful for that, but this is my husband, and I want to be able to have one thing left that is sacred to our family, to my in-laws, to my babies, and to my parents.
How about that one thing is the truth on what happened that day? He didn't die of natural causes. Somebody murdered your husband in front of the world that got traumatized by it. There's still people today that are still mourning him in such the tragediest ways. Like, she thinks that this is all about her. It's not. This is a lot bigger than her. This is a lot bigger than Charlie himself. When there's so many different questions out there related to his murder, it is our right, we the people, to figure out who was in on this. It wasn't just one man or one kid. We got to figure out the truth in corruption. And we have people in government that are corrupted. We have people that are in businesses around this country that help fund the government. I mean, fund programs, fund all these different agencies, are working with them. I mean, you guys know about this because it's already been reported in the past. This isn't something like conspiracy. This isn't a theory. This is fact. And the CIA admitted that they were literally putting people on drugs and doing hypnosis and human experiments, and have admitted to that to the American people, to the world. We just gave them a slap on the wrist and move on with life and said, oh yeah, the program's done. Everybody on here wants us to shut up, not ask questions. Why? I used to have a lot of respect for Hannity. Hannity spewing this crap is ridiculous. That's not good reporting. When you know there's suspicious activities and suspicious situations that happen revolving Charlie's murder, we should be promoting people to be asking questions. We understand the mourning. We understand the wife. We understand the kids. But if we want these kids to grow up in a world knowing the truth on what happened to their own father, we should be releasing it now before they get older. That way they can feel comfortable and content as they're older, realizing that their father actually died being a good human being, and unfortunately people betrayed him. There's way too many questions. Candace Owens is risking her life, her reputation. You think she's doing it because of clicks? That is the stupidest freaking reason. If you think she's doing it for clicks, why isn't Erika Kirk going after Candace Owens? Filing a lawsuit for defamation on her husband. Against her. Against her family. Against Turning Point USA. Why isn't she filing a legal case? Ask that question. I want some of these reporters out there to ask that question directly to Erika Kirk. Why aren't you filing a lawsuit against these people? Don't say you don't have time. That's bullshit. If you have time to invest that has anything to do with your husband, then commit to it. Do it. You chose to take on his company right away while you were still supposedly mourning. Supposedly you still are. I don't believe this crap. I wanted to have high hopes in Erika Kirk. You know, either being somebody that's under duress, someone that needs help, somebody has something to her, something against her and her family that is preventing her from speaking out the truth on what happened that day, or putting people under the bus to really figure out what happened. But by now, she should have contacted Candace. There should have been something. If she's as strong as Charlie was in speaking the truth and literally risked his life, she should be able to do the same as the wife of Charlie Kirk. And lately I've been starting to hear some other stuff that's just not adding up. People are saying that, you know, Charlie Kirk and Erika were actually supposed to be getting a divorce. There was possible talks of them getting divorced. And then hearing some conspiracy of, oh yeah, Charlie was gay. Like, what? Don't start changing the things now until you have solid proof of everything. They're trying to change the whole dynamic of the situation when the main point of it is figuring out what happened that day, who was involved. Too many suspicious activities in different parts of the event took place and need to be questioned. And when they're questioned to the appropriate people and they're not giving answers, they can't justify anything, or they just quickly delete everything on their profiles. That raises too many suspicion.
One thing. I do not have time to address the noise. My silence does not mean that I am complacent. My silence does not mean that somehow Turning Point USA and all of the handpicked staff that loved my husband and my husband loved them is somehow in on it. We are busy building. And you know what I thought? I thought these people are human. We are all grieving in our own way. And they are trying to find the answer to something that happened that was so evil. They are trying so hard. And I get that. We're doing the same. Anytime we hear a lead or any...
Pay attention to her eyes. I've heard about this many years ago about body language when speaking to someone. And when you're looking directly at somebody's face, having a conversation one-on-one, such as what's happening here, it's more inclined that you're telling the truth or you're being honest to that person, giving direct eye contact. Now, if you see somebody that's giving direct eye contact and they're continuously looking to the left or looking to the right as they're speaking, that's supposed to indicate that they're lying or they're stretching the truth or they just aren't being upfront with what they're saying. And if you watch this, Erika Kirk is doing this non-stop in this video. I mean, that's just my personal outlook on it. I kind of want to look up about that just to point it out. Let's continue this because I know we already seen this.
Anytime we hear anything, we send it to the authorities. Please dig into this. No rock will be unturned. I want justice for my husband, for myself, for my family, more than anyone else out there. So for me, you want to keep telling me to come down while we're building? I don't have time for that.
See what I mean?
But here's my breaking point on that. Come after me, call me names, I don't care. Call me what you want, go down that rabbit hole, whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode, going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
You know, I have to say it. I've never seen you like this.
No, this is righteous anger.
It's good acting.
Because this is not okay. It's not healthy. This is a mind virus. I don't care what box you're in. But just know that your words are very powerful, and we are human. My team are not machines and they're not robots. They are human. We have more death threats on our team and our side than I have ever seen. I have kidnapping threats. You name it, we have it. And my poor team is exhausted. And every time they bring this back up, what are we supposed to do? Relive that trauma all over again? They watched my husband get murdered. I have no idea how I would have reacted if I was there that day. And thank the good Lord that I did not have to see that happen. But my team, they are rocked to the core. So why every single day do they have to be dragged through the mud, analyzed, hyper-analyzed? If you want to find and pick me apart, go right ahead. I do not care. I don't. This was happening before Charlie was murdered. Both of us have been through the ringer of people will call you whatever they want to call you.
I hope people will respect this family, this widow, these children, Charlie Kirk, taken in the prime of his life, and stop. Some level of decency.
I'm going to be the first to say I call for Sean Hannity's resignation the moment the real truth comes out, when Candace Owens really exposes everything that's been going on. When it comes to the moment where the truth finally comes out, I call for everybody's resignation that has slurred and tried to destroy Candace Owens in her approach to investigate what's been going on, because the FBI isn't doing a damn thing about Charlie Kirk. They're supposed to be giving us information today, but we'll see what kind of information they try to throw at us. It better be everything, and not the bullshit that they were giving us about this kid taking a gun apart and blah, blah, blah. We need more to the story. There's more suspicious activity that happened that day. For Sean Hannity to come on here and literally tell the American people to shut up, be quiet, these are the people, these are the tactics that are trying to silence our freedom to speak. That's not what we need in this country. That's not what Charlie Kirk stood for. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Until next time, peace out, everybody. This one's for Charlie.